Hey, welcome back everybody. I'm JC with J&E Eclectics. If you don't know, my special guest today, Reyes the entrepreneur, he has dropped by our Eclectic studio today, and we're going to talk about some of our customers. The good, the bad.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you guys some stories, so hopefully you'll pick up some tips on things you can avoid.
Yeah, man. Customers, bro. They're like exes, you know? You get some good ones, you get some bad ones. Some break your heart. Some steal your money. You're going to hear it all. And then
some keep coming back.
Yeah, and some keep coming back. That's
right. All right. So I've got one, and you could tell me if you've had this in your experience before. But you get a customer who'll hit you up. For us, it's usually midnight, 1 a.m. They'll hit us up on Instagram and be like, hey man, wanted to reach out to you. Saw your video or saw you on Instagram, and I noticed that you make shirts. Can you make this? They'll send a design.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. We could definitely do that. How many shirts do you need? This is where it gets tricky. The customer either knows exactly what they want, or they're just fishing because they haven't done this before. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I need, just 4 or 5 shirts. What kind of shirt? Don't know. Or if they do know the shirt, yeah, I know Gildan. That's a cheap shirt. I'm gonna get a Gildan. Can you do 200 shirts? What's the price?
Mm-hmm.
You know where this is going.
Yeah. So I've had those customers that don't really know what they want, so they start asking 1,000 questions. My technique, I pretty much, as soon as I get a vibe, pretty much if someone hits me up and they don't know what they want, I tell them, all right, how many shirts do you want? This is the price. I have an idea of the design. I have an idea of how much it's gonna cost.
Yeah.
But once I shoot them the price, that tells me how serious they are.
Yeah.
And once I tell them, let's say they want 5 shirts, and I'm like, all right, $20, $25 a shirt. Let's just say $110 plus $5 shipping. Right there and there, you're gonna say, all right, let's do it. Or, oh, well, what about this and that? And if they hit me up with, oh, what about this and that? I'm gonna take care of the customer.
Right.
But I'm gonna take my time.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be replying back and forth,
Yeah.
because if you're ready for business, let's do business.
Yeah.
If you're still shopping around or asking questions, cool. But I'm gonna take my time with you. That's how I handle it, bro.
Yep.
Because I'm sure you've gone through this. Everybody has gone through this. You have that customer asking you one question leads to 2 more questions. I've noticed that if you don't tell them, hey, I don't know what to say. But anyways.
If you don't tell them this is the price,
No.
This is what it is. If you don't get them there, they'll just find 1,700 ways to keep beating around the bush and never place the order.
That's right, man. That's right. But I don't know about you, but have you ever had where somebody did pay right away because they were serious, but then they still asked 1,000 questions afterwards, or they changed their mind a million times?
Yes. Okay.
Oh,
that's a good one. That's a really good one because we did put out a video. Make sure you check that out on some pet peeves. Mm-hmm. If you're the shop, how to get your customer to give you concise feedback on what they actually want. And if you're the customer, how to actually get that order accepted right away because you know exactly what you need. But you'll have customers that'll pay you right away. And you're like, okay, good. You want a t-shirt printed 10 inch by 10 inch and it's 1, maybe 2 colors. Perfect. I can do that. And you want on a solid black t-shirt. Customers already paid. You know what they want. You order their 25 or whatever black t-shirts. Then they come back and say, hey, what if I actually change it to this image? Or what if I go 12 by 12? Or can we do it on a polo shirt? And it's like, well, no. We put in the order, this is what it's for. Now, if you can make the change and it's just a simple swap of an image, sure. But if it went from a single color and a simple design where you were gonna maybe do vinyl, and now it's multicolor and you gotta get it screen printed or DTG printed, your cost might have just went up. Which means the customer's cost is going to probably have to go up. Mm-hmm. But what are you going to do? You already took their money. You're halfway on the process. So for us, if it's not a small enough change that we can make for you right away, I'm going to refund your money. I'm going to tell you straight up.
Really?
Look, all the time I'm spending on this order, I'm not taking care of other customers. And I don't want you to be dissatisfied. I still want you to be happy. But in order for you to be happy, we're going to have to start that process over another time. Because this isn't going to work out. And that happens a lot.
Oh. Yeah. You know what? I go a different approach. I've had one guy, he was a homie, all right? So I even gave him a homie discount, bro. He wanted 10 shirts, 1 white logo on the shirt, And I'm like, oh, you know what? To save money, I'm gonna do that screen printing. You know, just real quick. I gave him a great price, like $12 a shirt. Yeah. But you know what? I was gonna make decent money. All right, money. Just because it was screen printing, so it doesn't cost a lot.
Right.
You know, simple design too. I already had screens ready. And then he hits me up and says, hey, well, what about if I get one design for these 2 shirts, and every 2 shirts I get a different design saying this? And I looked at him and I'm like, wow, bro. Long story short, I just ate it, bro. That's it. I told him, I got you. It was my fault because first of all, I gave him a homie discount. Yep. Secondly, I didn't specifically say, hey, it's this design. He hit me up saying, hey, how much for 10 shirts with this design on them? I'm like, this how much? He goes, all right, I'm going to go drop off the money. He dropped off the money. I start working on the shirts, and then he sends me a message. What if we switch up different font? Because it was for a college thing. Okay. He was a rebellious person, you know? Yeah. So stuff like, hey, no this and that. I'm like, this guy over here. But I eat it, bro. But I learned from those mistakes. No one has ever done me dirty like that. But let me ask you this. Have you ever had a customer you didn't want to work with before, but they were willing to pay?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, actually, I've had customers that have the money.
Yeah.
In fact, it always seems that the people that have the money the most, in our experience, turn out to be the customers that are the most difficult to work with.
Some, bro, some.
Not all. No. Not all. But I would say out of our difficult customers, most of them were the ones that had money. Mm-hmm. And the ones that, you know, are just trying to get started, they seem to, I don't want to say are easier customers, but they're more flexible. They're just getting started out, and usually if you send them really good quality, that's all they really wanted. Now they can get started. They've kind of got a foothold into the business, and you're helping them get there. Other people who are maybe a little more picky, for us at least, tend to be the people who are like, oh, I don't like that, I'm just going to buy 25 more. Or I also bought from 16 other places. Or, you know, that for us, that's kind of where it's at. We've had customers before that will come through and then make 15 changes after the order has been accepted and paid. And it's like, all right, well, we need to get started on the order. This is what you approved. So you should have a process in place. You need to make sure you've got the price set up. You need to send a you need to send a mock-up of what the order is, and then get the approval, and that's the order. Now you've got, you know, give them an order number, whatever that is, and a turnaround time, and then meet that promise and deliver. There should be no changes from the time money is accepted, unless you haven't agreed on what's happening yet. In which case, I avoid even taking the money. I'll have customers come to us and say, hey, I want to get this done. What's it going to cost? I say $250. They are like, okay, give me Venmo or PayPal or whatever it is. And I'm like, well, hold off. Let me make sure I can get that order. Let me make sure I can do that for you. Is this what you want? There are times that I haven't taken that approach because I'm just trying to help them out. And it ends up being me eating it just like you in the long run. And then it's like, I don't want to work with those people anymore. The 1,500 changes in between. Now, if it's on me, if I miscommunicate or I miss a step, I'm going to eat it every time. That's on me. But if it is the customer and they're that kind of customer, I just fire the customer. And a lot of people get afraid of that. But long term, those customers will cost you money, not make you money.
I've had my worst customer that was willing to pay was this insurance place who needed decals on their windows because they were opening new locations. You know, like the black bird with the president's hats. Fiesta Insurance. It wasn't them, but something like that.
Right.
Yeah. Anyways, so this guy hit me up, goes, hey, I need decals, big decals for my stores. You know, insurance here, aseguranza, Spanish. You know, this and that. And I'm like, oh, very good customer, but I'm gonna give him a decent price. Because he's ordering like 10 big decals. Okay. Huge to cover windows. Yeah. I'm like, all right. So I did the order, and he was a good guy, but he kept ordering more. Like, he ordered 10 decals, and even before I finished those, he goes, hey, I need 2 more. You know? And I don't like working with that. Like, keep adding more and more and more, even though he was willing to pay. So I told him, look, let me finish these, and then whatever else you need, you know, I'll do them for you. So I did those, and then he hits me up like 2 or 3 weeks later, and I'm like, I don't want to work with these people because they're willing to pay.
I know what's gonna happen already.
Yeah. And like, they're not rushing me, but they're like, hey, how soon can you get it done?
Yep.
You know, hey, we need another one, this color. Yep. And I'm like, oh, guys,
so,
you know.
we got to break that down. So for everybody watching right now, if your head's exploded and you're thinking, man, more business is more money, what are you doing? That's crazy, Reyes. No. Listen to what the man is saying and listen to what we've said. Time is money.
Yeah.
Think about how many customers you're trying to work with in a day, in a week, in a month. You've got several customers. And if you've got that one customer who basically treats you like their one-stop shop, you work exclusively for them, that's where that's headed. To where it's like, okay, you need 10? I know exactly how long it's going to take me to do 10. I know what it's going to cost me in money. I know if I need help.
Yeah.
And I know I can knock out this 20 shirt order and these other decal orders in the same day. I'll get all this stuff done. But if you're doing one order and you've set aside whatever the resources and help are for 2 hours, and they're like, oh, I need 2 more. You're like, well, I got to start on these shirts now.
Yeah.
You can't have those changes. It's like, okay, I can get you 2 more tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, can you do with these orders today?
Yeah.
That's a little more difficult.
Yeah, you're right. It didn't give me a lot of free time to work on the business. And you might be saying, but hey, at least you got business. But anyways, you know what I did though the second time? I doubled the price on them. Because I'm like, hey, if he's going to want big orders fast, he's going to pay for it.
Yeah.
And he paid for it, bro.
And
I hated doing that order, though. I hated it. Because, I mean, yeah, you're right. I had to order more materials. It took a lot of time. And I had a 24-inch vinyl cutter.
Yeah.
You know? But, I mean, you can only do so much from a room.
Yep.
Like, I needed decals the size of this wall. You know? 10 of those, 15 of those.
Yeah.
And it was like, but great people. Good for their business. But that's another thing I've learned. Don't take too big of an orders if you don't have the structure to do those orders, you know? Like, for example, when I was doing vinyl, I couldn't do 1,000 shirts. Even, there's a friend of mine who brought me an order for 300 shirts for a concert. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, you know?
Ooh.
But it was 4 colors in the front, 4 colors in the back. Oh. Yeah, and I didn't even have a conveyor belt. I was hitting everything with heat guns. I was like, I'm gonna have to. And of course,
you had to layer it for all the colors.
Yeah. And of course, they wanted the cheapest price.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sorry, bro.
That's the most work.
Yeah.
You want the most work for the cheapest price. It doesn't add up.
Yeah. Let me ask you: have you ever had a customer do you dirty before, or try to do you dirty?
Yeah. So I like to think of myself as pretty business savvy.
Yeah.
I mean, the MBA isn't really important, I guess, when you're running your own business, but it does help. Still, I've had customers that will order, for example, 20 shirts. They want to get started with their own custom apparel line. And I'll make them those 20 shirts. But what they don't know is on the back end, anytime I get an order, I run samples myself. I want to see how it's going to look on the shirt that they chose, exactly how the print comes out, etc. And then I know, okay, I need to tweak this or whatever. I'll have samples ready so that I know it's good for the customer. Knock out the 20 shirts. Now, if anyone's been following our channel, they know we use OmniPrint's 330 TX Plus. So it's really consistent with high quality prints. We also know, I've had it for over a year, I have shirts I printed a year ago that barely maybe now start looking like they're not brand new.
Yeah.
So they last. And I had a customer order those 20 shirts.
Oh, that girl. Oh, okay, I got it. I know.
And then she was like, hey, so what would happen if, I got a shirt from you and it was faded and cracked? I'm like, oh, I would replace it. Because I know that they shouldn't do that. And maybe I messed up on pre-treat. Assume positive intent here. I assume my customers just want to pay me for the quality and the service that they're getting and not screw me over. However, that's not always the case. So maybe I messed up. Maybe it was the pre-treat. Let me check everything. Then I say, yeah, I'll give you a new one. She's like, oh, okay. So I ordered 20 shirts. And this one's cracked and faded. And I was like, well, send me pictures. Let me see. And she sends a picture, and I'm like, I'm not seeing what you're seeing. What exactly is it? Yeah, it just doesn't look, vibrant, as the other shirt. And I'm like, I can't see it. Maybe let me get a better angle or something. So there wasn't really anything wrong with the shirt. They were just saying, oh, wait, you're going to give me a free one if something's messed up? Well, I ordered 20. Are you going to refund all 20 now?
And did you?
Not a chance.
One
shirt. I was like, yeah, if you got a shirt that's messed up, boom. Now, if I messed up, if that pre-treat machine was off for whatever reason, or I used the wrong pre-treat on that whole 20, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to run the new shirts. But again, I run samples before I send out orders. So I've got the 2 to 3, 4 samples I ran before, and I still got it, and I check them. I run a wash test, and I'm like, these aren't cracking and peeling. Like, what are you talking about?
So how did it end? Would you message her? Would you tell her?
I let her know, did you follow the wash instructions? Like, if it's cracking and I don't see it, you know, it's DTG print. Did you follow the instructions?
And what'd she say?
I didn't know there was different wash instructions. I'm like, cool, check the tag. Check the sticker that I included, like, with your order that says flip the shirt inside out, etc. I didn't hear any other issues about the shirts.
And that was it?
That was it. But I think had I not put my foot down, but if I didn't establish the process already, so quality's number one for us, right? That's what we focus on before we focus on making money. If I didn't know that I had sent out good quality, I might have been like, oh crap, I screwed up an order and taken it back. If I wasn't running samples ahead of time, I would have been eating it on that 20 shirt order. Instead, she turned around, she ordered more shirts and hoodies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I was tempted. Yeah. I was like, ooh, do I want to open the door to where it's like, oh, hey, all these are messed up?
Yeah.
Instead, she's always selling them. I see the posts all the time on social media, and you know, she wants more shirts, then she'll come back. And if she doesn't, then she won't, and that'll be something I end up being able to avoid. But
I got
yeah, that's definitely happened.
You know what? One time, I made a shirt for a girl I worked for. And I made her a shirt. We had everything. I took it to work. I gave it to her. And then I didn't know this, but her mom started a t-shirt business. Oh. Yeah, so when I gave her the shirts at work, her mom showed up. And then 30 minutes later, she goes, hey, we don't like the shirts. I'm like, you know? And I'm like, I'm not going to fight about it, bro. And then later I found out, of course I gave her a refund. And later I found out that it was because her mom told her that she'll do the shirts. Yeah, but I let it go, bro. I picked my battles, man. I can't. You know what? One person did me dirty, still owes me money to this day. It was a clothing brand that were starting up. I worked with them like 3-4 times, small orders. And then they placed a $700 order. And I'm like, all right, give me deposit first. Always get deposit. Yeah. I'll make it. Give me the rest when you pick up the shirts. Okay. Like, you know, it was normal. Nothing of it. And then the day came where I made the shirts. And she goes, all right, I'm going to go pick them up at 5. She still owes me like $350. She shows up. She checks them out, everything. And then she goes, is it okay if I pay you Wednesday? It was like Sunday. And I'm like, you've been good to me. Sure, but Wednesday. She goes, I promise you, I'll pay you. Wednesday comes around. I didn't hear nothing. I don't like bugging people.
Sure. 2
weeks later, she sends me a message saying, hey, sorry I haven't paid you. I just been tight of money, but I promise you I'm going to pay you. 3 months later, I just broke up with my boyfriend, and I'm just going through a hard time. And me being Mr. Nice Guy, I'm like, don't worry about it. 6 months later, I sent her a message saying, hey, don't worry about the money.
Yeah.
Because it was eating me inside knowing that somebody owed me money.
Yeah.
But what am I going to do? I even thought about go slash her tires. And I'm like,
how am I going to get that money back?
And bro, that was when I just started. I was working for one bedroom. My girl had a baby. I was working in the fields on the side to make money.
Yeah.
I could have used those $350, you know?
Yep.
But I'm like, it's hurting me more trying to pursue this money than to let it go. So I let it go, and that's it, man. I'm all about the peace of mind.
Sure.
I don't like stressing out. But what would you have done? Would you have took it to court?
Man, I'll tell you what. So...
Yeah. Oh, wait, my bad to interrupt. But the lesson is, now, in any part of my business, I'm not doing no work until I get the full payment.
Exactly.
You know, that's why I learned.
Yes.
Hey, don't only do your boy dirty once. That's it. I learned my lesson.
Yeah, fool me once.
Yeah, that's right. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. So that's exactly what I was going to say. When I do business now, it's payment up front.
Yeah.
So if you're local, if you have ordered from me before, then I'm more likely to make you an order, small order, and be like, all right, I'm not going to make you pay up front because I know you always come pick them up in person and pay. Now, again, no one locally has burned me like that. I have had one customer who ordered and then never showed up and picked up the shirts. They're just busy.
They didn't pay the deposit?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
So I made the shirts and they just never picked them up.
You don't got them right now? You got them?
Yeah. It's a Pentagon.
Yeah. What do you think he's gonna come through or what?
Yeah, so he's busy.
Yeah.
So his whole job is literally being mobile everywhere. So it's always, hey, when I'm in that area, are you home that day? I'll come pick him up.
Oh, but what is it? Only 3 shirts, right?
Yeah.
Something small like that. All right, man. All right.
But I make sure everything else really it's a deposit up front. So I might say, if you know what you want, sorry, right? They're kind of in those early stages, right? Oh. I need this many shirts. I give you a price. Like, all right, how much do I got to pay? Well, this is the price. That's what you pay. Yeah. And he's like, all right, can I pay half? Here's the caveat: if you're only going to take half up front, what is your base cost for all the material? And then if you're using vinyl, what is the cost of the vinyl? If you're doing DTG, what's it going to cost the ink per print? Add all that up, and that's not counting your profit, right? That's the deposit then. You're going to get all your money back at least to break even.
Yeah.
That's the minimum deposit. The number one tip I would say, though, is unless you're just starting out and it's too hard for you, get a full deposit. Get all that money up front. Make sure they're as invested in that order as you are. Because you do leave the door open to get burned.
You know what? That's one thing I noticed. That people who pay, they're serious.
Yeah.
You know, not like the people that... I've had people saying, oh, Reyes, please, man, I'll pay you next time. Oh, please, I need these shirts ASAP. I don't got the money. And, you know, all I do is, you know, play the little violin and be like, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
I can't do much for you.
Yeah, we have.
I don't like being a jerk, though, you know, but, hey, man. Like I said, I learned my lessons.
Reyes needs to take my advice from a previous video where I teach you guys about when or how to fire your customers.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, it sounds like a bad thing, but...
You know,
sometimes it's the best thing.
You know what? I can't fire them, but I try giving them a reason to not work with me. For example, overpricing them.
Let them quit you versus you fire them.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. Or another thing is, just letting you know, I don't do this to everybody who I don't want to work with.
Sure.
Sometimes I do raise my prices.
Yep.
And another technique I use is I give them a long wait time. Yeah. So for example, someone hits me up with a shirt order. I'm like, I know this customer. In a small town, you get to know people.
Sure.
I don't want to work with them.
Yeah.
But I don't want to tell them I don't want to work with them because they're going to talk dookie about me.
Sure.
So, you know what? It's going to take me 2 months to do that order because I'm just so backed up.
Yep.
And then one thing I do is, but my competition, whoever it is, they will gladly do your order.
Shoot that work out somewhere else.
Yeah, I'll be like, hey, they're take care of it. Let them know Reyes sent you. I don't even tell them to
hold up. I don't know if everybody's going to catch that.
Yeah.
My man said... What I will do, he didn't say to the homies or my friends. He said, what I will do is to my competition, send them that troublesome customer and let the competition get that headache. He's like, oh yeah, my competition, they're going to help you out, no problem. That's genius. You know, it reminds me of one. So you mentioned a customer before that you didn't want to work with.
Yeah.
So we've had a customer that came to us for a couple of specific shirts. And they wanted some V-necks. And they wanted, left chest print on a V-neck. And I'm like, all right, well, for DTG, there's a little hurdle, but we got it done, no problem. Then we never heard back. And I'm like, all right, I thought you were launching a website, and, I need 25 shirts of each design, but let me start with 4.
Yeah.
So then, a few weeks later, that customer needs something else. So like, hey, can you print this design? They send me one logo and an email. I'm like, sure. Here's the catch. They also send me the mock-up in the email of what that design looks like on the front of the shirt. And they're like, hey, can you do this? And I was like, yes, I can. What will it look like? It'll look exactly like the mock-up that you sent me in the email.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? It will look like that?
Yeah.
It'll look like your design on the front of a black shirt.
Yeah.
And they go, no, I want it on the back of a shirt. And I was like, oh, okay, one print back of the shirt. What's the price? You know what? $25. They're like, all right, cool. And can you do this logo on the front? I'm like, wait, 2 prints?
That's extra.
I'm like, all right, so that's $30.
Yeah.
Two print locations, $30. And they go, oh, wow. Fine, I guess. But I mean, I thought it was going to be a discount because I'm ordering in bulk. Your email said I just need 1 shirt, single time order. Yeah, for now. But I'm going to use it to get pre-orders.
Oh, that's what they all say.
I don't know how many that'll be. So can you give me the bulk price? And I was like, no. For your single shirt, I'm going to give you a single shirt order. When you want to order in bulk, I will give you bulk pricing then. Because I've worked with this customer before. And then they're like, all right. So they don't put the order in right away. Then they let me know, hey, this is really time, I need it by like tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, we can get them done in an hour, no problem. And the customer messages me later on that night and is like, yo, never mind, don't even bother. Like, at that price, I can't make a profit. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get somebody else to do it. I was like, hey, no problem. I'm not even mad. And I let them know straight up, hey, look, best of luck for what you needed that for. You know, if you can get that done, awesome. And if you can't, let me know. I can still get those done for you. They're like, oh, okay, thanks. Cool. The next day, they hit me up. Oh, man, no one will print these for me. Can you help me? And I'm like, dang. Here they come crawling back. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
It'll be $35.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? I'm like, well, now it's a rush order. Now you need it today. I have 5 other customers ahead of you now that didn't jerk me around for the last day. I'm like, you want it? Now there's a rush order fee, and that's a very real thing.
How do you deal with rush orders? Do you? I hate them, bro. To be honest with you,
they're a problem. I like quality. However, when we get an order, we try to knock it out as quick as possible anyway. But if they're like, hey, can you do this in 30 minutes? Is the design ready? Do I got to do the artwork? There's a lot that kind of goes into that, and I don't want to rush anything. And then I put the shirt on too fast, and the print came out crooked or something.
Yeah, you know?
So I try to avoid them. But with DTG, it's actually a little easier to knock out a rush order. So we'll still take them, but we have learned, I'll say, to do a rush fee because we didn't before. And then people realize, oh, I can just tell you last minute, you know, an hour ahead of time that I need it, and you'll knock it out. And it's like, well, no, I've got all these other customers that are lined up. And you got to be able to charge because time is money. You don't get that time back.
I feel you, man. I hate rush orders, but you know what? I do them. First of all, if it's a big order, and secondly, if it's either a repeat customer or someone who shows potential that they might come back.
Right.
Like, for example, schools. I've done schools. Have you worked with any organizations that you don't like working with? For example, I hate working with car clubs. Oh. You know, I mean, if you're a car club, you know.
Hit him up. He's still going to do it.
No, but here's the thing about car clubs. I don't want to say they're stingy, but they always try getting the lowest price. Yeah. Because they're buying car parts over there, you know? And then they'll be like, hey, how much for 5 shirts for the crew and this and that? Nah, bro. I stop right away. Schools. I don't like working with schools. They're demanding, and also they want it quickly and cheaper.
Yep.
You know, they're just shopping around for the cheapest price. And after that experience, I couldn't do it. And then I like the small orders. 1-2 shirts real quick.
Yeah.
And they have the highest profit margin.
Absolutely.
You don't make the highest money, but one shirt you make a lot of profit.
Yeah.
Compared to doing 50 shirts for a small profit each.
Yep.
But that's just me, man. How about you? What do you like printing?
That's the same way. I like small to medium orders. Like the perfect order would be 20 or 25 shirts of a design. And maybe they want multiple designs. That's great. For like a bulk order for us, right? Yeah. 20 or 25 of each of these designs. That's awesome for us because there's pretty good profit margin in there still. And it's not too difficult. It's not time consuming. However, you hit the nail on the head. That single shirt order, so much better. A good example. I might sell, if we do 20 shirts, single print, right? Maybe, off the top of my head, I don't have my chart breakdown. Let's say it's $20 a shirt. So we knock it down a bit because they're ordering so much. All right, so our profit margin, maybe it's costing us, $8 total to make each shirt. So you sell it for 20, there's $12 in there for profit. Versus a single shirt, you sell it for 25 or $30, you might make up to $20 profit. So you're making an additional $7 per single shirt order. In the long run, that $7 adds up. A whole lot of littles makes a lot. So definitely the profit margin on single shirt orders is the way to go. I would prefer to have 100 unique customers come to me, or 100 people order the same one shirt that's on my Instagram or website. Then it's like, hell yeah, I'll make 100 shirts, but I'm making that large profit margin off of each one. That's where the sweet spot is.
Who's your main customers right now?
Honestly, landscaping companies.
So businesses. I've been noticing you do a lot for businesses.
Yep.
What do you think of that? Like, you like it, you don't like it? I mean, we're not going your customer base under the bus, but every customer base has the pros and cons.
Definitely.
Like, for example, businesses. I love working with businesses because they have money.
Yep.
And I don't want to seem greedy, but they know that they're just not getting a custom shirt. They're getting an investment
100%.
into their business.
Yeah, they understand that mindset.
Yeah.
Right. As you as an entrepreneur, you're investing in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll hear it. I've said it a lot. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, no one else will.
Yeah.
Businesses are the same way.
Yeah.
They already know the value of investing in themselves.
You know, perfect example. I go eat at a restaurant, and I'm like, $5 for a nice tea.
Yeah.
Give me water.
Yeah.
But I just bought $3,000 MacBook
Yes.
to help me edit videos quicker.
Yes.
You know.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's funny. Like I'm the same way. We got our print shop, $60,000 print shop in there. I won't buy a new shirt to say I make shirts.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for a year. I have like maybe 4 shirts I've made for myself. This is one of them.
So, yeah.
I don't go out and buy new clothes for myself. To me, I'm cheap. I
Yeah,
save
yeah.
my money
Yeah.
and I invest it either in myself in another way.
I feel like that's the mindset you need to have to be an entrepreneur, where you need to know where you need to cut back and save and when you need to invest. Because, I mean, spending money is not the same.
Definitely.
You could spend money on doing something that's going to help you grow when in reality it's not. So, for example, shirts, like, I don't know. Is there anything you ever spent money to try growing the business and you're like, that was a complete waste of money? Other than the Facebook ads.
Other than
Yeah.
You mean other than the $16,000 on Facebook
Yeah,
ads?
he spent $16,000 on a social media agency or something like that, right? Marketing agency. Nothing. I think they are a scam, bro. But.
You know what? I mean, they have good reviews. They've worked for other people. And I don't know if it was just the COVID timeline, my business being established in quarantine, that they couldn't get it going for me. And I honestly, even after that money, I thought, okay, that last month we made, I think 11 sales through the website. But I had sold like 15 shirts through Etsy the same month, probably 1 week actually. And then, 20, 30 shirts in person and hats and all this. And I'm just like, man, should I invest more money in the agency because now they found the target audience or they're barely finding it? But after 16 grand, I was like, geez, at some point, I'm just a fool. I'm a guppy. Like, I'm putting all this money and I'm not getting... I mean, other than that, I would say I've invested in other things that I haven't used to the full potential yet. So I think I've talked to you about this a little bit. So kind of getting into the realm of the content, right? So we have lots of orders, and I was horrible about actually taking a picture and putting it on Instagram. I would try, and even though Instagram's probably what I did the most, I still wouldn't get every single order. And now that we're doing YouTube and stuff like that, I'm getting the content more. So I did invest in a course to help me, like planning out, script or that kind of thing, or helping me get ready for content. And ask me how far I got in that course.
How far?
Day 2.
Day 2?
It's a 14-day course. So
you're 2 days in.
I'm 2 days in.
How long has it been? A month?
It's been like a month.
Hey,
maybe 5 weeks.
Hey, you just work a lot, bro.
I do. I'm working a lot, and I'm definitely going to, but maybe that was an investment I didn't need to make right away, or maybe I just need to evaluate what I'm doing when I do have free time, which is probably sleeping. But figuring that part out. But going back to the customer part, working with businesses, the landscape business, they definitely do have the money. They're working hard, but they know the value of investing. So we've got one guy, Bernardo. Shout out to Bernardo. Man, he comes through, he orders some hats, love the hats, brings his cousin over to get hats for his business.
Oh.
He orders some shirts, brings his other cousin through to order some
Those are the best
shirts.
customers.
Absolutely, just the referrals. And then his kids.
Yeah.
He brings his kids through, gets custom hoodies. And just to say, so we did a hoodie.
Hey, you're gonna have his mother-in-law and his wife in there
I know,
too.
Right? So legit, his wife, I made her a hoodie.
Oh yeah.
So his son and his daughter come through one time to pick up some stuff, and he's got a hoodie, and he's like, "Hey, can you make them for kids?" And I was like, "Yeah." So it's got his logo on the chest, his initials logo. He's got another logo with his initials on one sleeve, and the Mexican flag on the other sleeve. And he's super proud of it. And then I make a smaller one for his son, an even smaller one for his daughter. And the best thing for me as like a shop runner, right, owning my business, is the next time he pulls up to get some shirts, the whole family's in the truck and they're all wearing that swag. They're all repping his business, but it's that product that I made for them. That's the best. And then it's funny now because he came through and he laughed about the jungle in my backyard. So the plants and my palm trees had overgrown out in the back, and he's like, "Man, you got a jungle back there." I was like, "I know." And I'm like, if only I knew someone who did landscaping. So then he's like, I'll tell you what, man. I've been charging him, for all these orders. He's like, I'll help you out. Normally that would cost me, $1,000. For you, $1,500. No.
Yeah.
No, so I did, man. I became one of his customers. He came through, cleaned up the yard for us, and I was like, that's awesome.
Making good work for people and being friendly too. It opens up a lot of doors. That's one thing I noticed.
All right, guys. Thanks again for stopping by. I'm JC with J&E Eclectics. This has been our special guest, Reyes, the entrepreneur. And in this video, hopefully you got some knowledge through our stories and our experiences with customers. If you've had similar experiences, share them in the comments below. Make sure you're smashing that like button to help us out. Subscribe to the channel. And let us know if anything that we've said today resonates with you and your business.
You know what? Tell us your worst customer.
Ooh, yeah.
Did you lose money? Did you lose friendships?
That's a big one. People don't talk about working with friends and family when it goes bad.
Oh, I don't, bro. Because I want to have the option to fire them if I have to. But that's just me.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel so you can get more great content like this. And thank you for the love. I'll catch you in the next one.